Welcome to the channel. Most students are not able to reach 700 because they struggle with Model 2. Today, I'm giving you 10 hard SAT math questions. If you can solve this, you'll be ready for testing. I'm going to walk you through. We're going to use regression, Desmos algebra, combine them when necessary, point areas you need to apply it, and then keep track of your record. Let me know in the comment section how you score. But this is for you to get you ready for your SAT coming up. First question. As you can see, this is normally tested. It look complicated, but it's straightforward. This equation, where all these constants are positive integers, knowing what to do with the question is 50%. This is key, don't forget. It has infinitely many solutions. Another second point in the question. I've given you an expression. P plus M is equal to 183. That means you have to use it. When you finished, solve this for me. That's all. What does that mean? Simplify the expression. This can be simplified as what? P x over 9 minus 1 plus m over 8. When you simplify this goal here, you're going to get, think about it, the 2 divided by the 2 will be 1. And then when you expand with the t, you're going to get tx. The second one is going to be 2t. If it's infinitely many solution, the x's are the same. That means p over 9 is equal to t. P is equal to 9t. This is your first equation. The second equation, m over 8 minus 1 is equal to 2t. Do the same thing. Express the function in the form of what? M. I'm going to get what? M is equal to what? 8, right? You got to multiply by the 8 is equal to 16t. This is the second expression. Now, they said m plus p. I have m plus p should be equal to this and that. 9t, 8, 16t. That means 8 plus 25t is equal to m plus p. What is m plus p? Think about it. You've been given to you 183. Find t. T is going to be 175 over 25, and t is 7. If I know t is 7, 9 times 7 is 63. If I know t is 7, 8 plus 16 times 7, this is going to give you 120. That's all. Your expression, 2p minus m. 2p is 63. 120. This is what? Think about it. 126 minus 120. Answer choice is 6. This is how you do it. If you want to use Desmos, let's go. If you use Desmos, just separate the two equations. Whenever they give you function like that, it makes things easy. So I'm going to do two equations, but they are the same. I'm just separating them so that I can regress the two functions. Now, input your second function. I'm going to label g of x. Same thing. Now, what you do is to regress the two functions because they are same based on infinitely many solution definition. And Desmos give you this function, these two equations. Well, pick numbers of x. They give you x is equal to 1. Just pick some random numbers so that you'll be 100% sure. And now we have our equation, right? It's a flat line, right? But think about it. We know something. This is why those who use Desmos know how to apply it, and they use it strategically. Why? I know p plus m is 183, where I'm going to make another expression. P is equal to 183 minus m. And boom, you get your answer. I get m is equal to 120, t is 7, and then p is 63. They are all positive integers. Boom. Now, what is 2p minus m? 6. As we did the algebra, it's the same thing. Which one is faster? You be the judge. Which one you need to apply your knowledge? Both of them. Know them, know how to use it. Even if you use it Desmos, know how to use it in terms of your algebraic expression. So first question down. This is an expression, and this is what you've been given. They said this is a factor of that. They want you to express r in terms of t, right? This is the answer choice. Well, what you need to do is to understand that r plus 5x, if it's a factor, it should be equal to 0. And the factor is based on x, therefore minus r over 5. If I put it in this expression, I'm going to get 0. Oh, if that's the so, I'm going to do that. Therefore, 5, I'm going to put minus r over 5 squared, 10 minus r over 5 plus t is equal to 0. Then you simplify. The rest is simplification. This is going to give you first one, r squared 5, 25, and this will be what? 2r plus t is equal to 0. If you simplify, you're going to get a quadratic equation. RT minus 10R plus 5T is equal to 0. This is the same thing as R squared 10R minus 5T. Don't put this in the quadratic equation. It's a trap. You waste your time. Every time you see quadratic function and you're trying to simplify, I suggest try to do what? Complete the square easily. This you can complete the square. What is that? R minus 5R squared is equal to what? 25 minus 5T. I'm done. This is the same thing as what? R 5 plus or minus 25 minus 5T. Do not simplify anymore because if you simplify, what the number you're going to get is not a perfect square. What I mean is 25 minus 5T. If you're trying to simplify, you get 5 out, 5 minus T under the bracket. But this is not a perfect square. So you're not going to get anything, right? Therefore, the right answer is to leave this in this situation. R 5 plus and minus square root of 25 minus 5T. And this is your right answer. The rest are all wrong. They will trap you with this kind of question. It's simple, straightforward algebra. One of the hardest questions in the video. You can do algebra and Desmos. I'll give you both, whichever is better for you. Some people need to understand the algebra, so I'm going to show it. They say this is a quadratic function, right? It can be factored in this form. 5 constants, all of them are integers. Smallest possible value of A and B. A and B means A multiplied by B. Now, every time you see this factored question, they'll give you big numbers. It's a trap. Try to make this smaller. I look at it, I say 3 can go into that. I'm going to simplify 3 out. And this is going to give me 18. And I will simplify it. I get 73 and I get 35. Now, ask yourself, the next thing you do, you multiply this by this. You're going to get 630, where 63 and 10 is going to give me 73. That's your factors. Then you're done. That means I have 3, 18 to the power S4. I'm going to replace 73 by 63. That's all square, 10s squared plus 35. When you simplify, you're going to get 2s squared, 7, 9s squared plus 5. They say A and B. A and B is this or that. This is 45 and this is 14. Which one is the smallest? Pick this because SAT will trap you. This can be A and B. C and D can flip to be A and B. And then therefore this times this 14. Therefore I'm picking 14. You're already done. If you want to use Desmos, let me show you how. It requires some critical thinking and how to manipulate the numbers. As usual, Desmos, input the function. We're going to put the first function with the variables, and then we can solve them. Input another function, the g of x, but make sure you input the factored form. We have 3 out, and then we have 18s to the power 4. That is the most important. If that will make Desmos not to over exaggerate, right? And picking numbers that doesn't match up. You get 73s squared plus 35. This will make your calculation easy as much as possible. Now, regress those two functions. Desmos is going to give you these numbers, but you know that x1 is limited. I'm going to pick random numbers of x, at least 10 of them. And now Desmos calculate all this, but I know k, I want k to be 3. Therefore, I put k to be 3. Now, what you can see, A times C should give you 18 based on your 4, right? That's key. And B times D should give you 35. Now, I'm going to pick factors of 18. So I need A. And then my answer choice was A and B. So I'm looking what is A and B is doing. I'm picking the first, the lowest number of A is what? 1, to be a factor of 18. But what happened to AB? It's a factor of 18. AB is 3.5. B is not an integer. Wrong answer. I pick A is 2. AB is 14. All of them are integer. Good answer. I change A to be 3. B is not an integer. Therefore, I'm not even looking at AB. A to be 4. D is not an integer. C is not an integer. Ignore it. A to be 5. And I have 2 non-integers. Wrong answer. A to be 6. D is not an integer, right? Even if I put A to be 9, this is what is happening. So you can see our best choice is when A is equal to 2, AB is 14, D and B and C are all integers, and that's our right answer. This is how you use Desmos. You restrict Desmos, you tell Desmos, this is the way I want you to play. Don't just pick numbers. So this is, we get the same answer, 14, best answer. As you can see, the questions get harder and harder. Question 4 is another hard one. If you can answer this, you know a lot of concept. We can use Desmos and algebra. We start with algebra and with Desmos. Next one. This is a function. It said it's undefined when s is equal to 5. Keyword, don't forget. They give you g of what? Minus 4. They give you restriction of g of 0 less than equal to 0. Which of these must be true about A? Therefore, this you have to analyze it. This is where algebra is key. You can use Desmos, but I will show you how to use both, whichever is better for you. First thing, if the function is undefined, s is equal to 5, that means x plus c is 0. When 5 is here, I put 5 here, plus c is equal to 0. C is equal to what? Minus 5. That's the key. I get one clue. That's the thing. When it said g of minus 4 is 0, that means it's a factor. Whenever a factor is equal to 0, whenever a function is equal to 0, it's a factor. That means x plus 4 should be equal to 0. Now, I will tell myself, hey, I have a bunch of information. I can rewrite this equation in this form. That's all. That means my g of x is the same thing of what? This is the same thing of my factor, x plus 4. I'm creating a new factor. I need a new factor. That's what the g of 0 is. I'm going to call it k, x minus k over what? My undefined function, which is c, right? C minus 5. That's all. Now, if I open the top portion, I can equate it to my function that is given. There's so many ways of doing it. This is the second strategy. I made a video and did it different way, but this is another way too. If I expand the two function, I get s squared. This is going to be what? Plus 4 minus kx is equal to 4k. You just simplify the top one, right? That's the first function. Think about it. This is the same thing as that. Therefore, a is equal to what? 4 minus k. And b is what? You can see it, minus 4k. And this you can use to answer the question. That's all. This is why I say algebra is key. But one more function, g of 0 is what? Less than equal to 0. If you put 0 here or here, if I put 0 here, what is going to happen? G of 0, this function. If you put 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, you'll be left with what? b minus 5 is less than equal to 0. That's the key. And what is the function? B, I know, is minus 4k. That will be what? 4k over 5 is less than 0. That means k is actually less than 0. This is another function. Now I know my k is less than 0. What do you think a is going to be? You're done. This is you think critically using the numbers. I know a is equal to 4 minus k. If k is less than 0, no matter what I'm going to do, a is going to be what? Greater than or equal to 4. Because if the lowest number I'm going to pick here is what? K is equal to 0, right? Therefore, that function changes completely. This is the way you should think about it. Therefore, a should be greater than or equal to 4 because this is 0. That's the lowest number it can be. As soon as k is less than negative number, b keep on going up and it's going to be greater than 4. B will never be never less than 4 because the k, the lowest number, is going to be 0, less than equal to. The next one is negative. Negative will add up, and then a is going to be greater than 4. And therefore, a is greater than or equal to 4. A is not going to be less than. It's not going to be less than. It's going to be greater. It's not equal to, right? The best function is going to be greater than or equal to every time, not equal to 4. Therefore, D is the right answer. Let's see what it looked like when you use Desmos. So we're going to input the original function in Desmos, and I'm going to write my own function f of s, which I already defined it. I know my factor is x plus 4 is the first factor. My new factor, x minus k. And then I know my undefined function is minus 5. So x minus 5. Now they are the same function. I'm going to regress it. You see the same tune. If you understand what is going on using the algebra, you're just thinking, okay, I know this is what is going to happen. Therefore, I'm going to just follow it. But x1, I need some random numbers. So I'm going to pick my random numbers. I pick 10. And I have this number, A1, C1, that. But you know the restriction based on the algebra, as you put your numbers in it, I know that what g of s is less than or equal to 0. And that is going to give you a 4 minus k. All those things you got to apply it. So I say, oh, g of x is less than or equal to 0. I'm going to put it here. But what is the problem? You have to define a for Desmos. Otherwise, you're going to pick certain numbers. A is 4 minus k. And now I can just change k. Based on the fact that g of 0 is less than or equal to 0, I'll say Desmos k can be any number less than 0, right? I pick 0. What is the problem? I'm going to use a step here. I say step 1. What is the fact that when k is 0, a is 4? Because k is less than or equal to 0, I'm going to go down to minus 1. You see, a is 5. If I had to pick minus 2, it keep on going up. A is 6. It's always going to be greater than what? 4. It keep on go or equal to 4. I mean, this is 4. But if you make k is 1, you can see that a is less than 4. But that's the wrong condition. The condition say k has to be what? Less than or equal to 0. Therefore, the minimum number we can put k is 0 and a is 4. Therefore, our right answer is a is greater than or equal to. Don't pick C. And that's a trap. Question 5, we're going to use algebra and Desmos. This is expression given. Yes, horizontal asymptote at 4 and satisfy this equation. If this is equal to that, what is the y-intercept of G? This is a classic SAT question. I wrote it to trap you, but I want you to think about certain things. What is horizontal asymptote? This expression is the same thing as ABS plus C. The C is the horizontal asymptote. That means this expression can be written as f of x, a108x plus 4. That's all. But I gave you something. F of s is equal to 13, which is f of 0. Therefore, 13 is equal to what? A10, and this is 0 plus 4. 13 is equal to a plus 4. A is 9. So rewrite your equation, put a 9 here. This is the actual expression now. Now you can put it here. F s plus 3 minus 2. You just write whatever you see s, just write it that way, right? That's all. But they're telling you g of x is this expression, f of s plus 3 minus 2. Don't make it complicated. Answer the question. What is y-intercept of g? Oh, if this is expression f of s plus 3 minus 2, y-intercept of g means s is equal to 0. Therefore, they're asking you f of 3 minus 2. I put 3 here, and then you solve it. This is going to be what? 9103 plus 4 minus 2. If you solve it, you're going to get what? 1334. Right answer. Now, let's look at it, what it looked like on Desmos. But you know that we have a vertical asymptote. So I'm going to put b is equal to 4, right? So Desmos know about it. But they tell you f of 0 is 13. Now I'm going to regress f of 0. That's all. I'm going to put f of 0 is 13. Now Desmos plot the graph for me. And I have intercept here, right? For f of 0 or f of x. This is what he calculated for me. Now, you know the definition of g of x. Define g of x to Desmos. It says f s plus 3 minus 2. You see, plot the graph for g of x. All you need to do is to find g of what? 0, because that's the intercept. And you get what? 13.337. The same thing we got. But you got to understand the concept. We define the function for Desmos. That is the key. And then we put our vertical asymptote. B is equal to 4. And then we regress the f of 0 is equal to 13. It calculate a is equal to 9. We already know. We calculate it, right? And then you write your function. G of s is that. And then calculate g of 0. And you get this. Question 6, if you don't know how to answer this kind of questions, I want you to stop the video, answer it your own, and see the way I'm going to approach it, because it's very, very important. They are straightforward but critical thinking. A data set consists of what? 9 integers. That's key. He has a mean of 14. That's another key. And a median of 9. We're going to stick with it. If the range is as small as possible, that means the difference between your max minus your mean is so small. What is the sum of the two greatest integers? That means you have 9 numbers, right? If I put them in the box, I'm looking at the 8th and the 9th number to be the biggest number of 4. There's the way to do this kind of question. If the median is going to be in the middle, which is 9, and I need a maximum number, and I need the minimum number, but I want the difference between them to be smallest as much as possible, make your numbers, the numbers below 9 to be closer to as much as possible. How can I make the numbers below 9 be closer? Because it's the middle. I should make all of them the same. So I have 9, 9, 9, 9. All 4 numbers below, so that I can have median of 9 should also be 9. How can I make the range also smaller, the numbers bigger than 9, to be also close to each other? Well, how do you do that? I know that the sum of these numbers is going to be what? 9 times 5. And that should give you 45. The mean of all the numbers is what? 14. That means 14 times 9 is 126. That means the sum of these bigger numbers, it should be this. I'm subtracting this from that. And that will give me what? 81. Ask yourself, how many numbers do I need? 9 is the middle. I just need 4 numbers here. Divide this by 4. You're going to get what? 20.25. I need integers. I don't need to do 20.25. Well, I can have 20, 20, 20, and the next one should be 21, because 0.25 times 4 is 1, right? Therefore, these are my numbers. 20, 20, 21. And that will give you what? The biggest numbers, but they're close to each other. And then we prevent the numbers less than 9 not to be smaller, like 1, 2, 3. No, they're close to 9 such that the range is smaller. If I make one of these numbers like less than 9, 5, 6, the range is not the smallest. And you see the trick? That's all. Therefore, they're asking you, the bigger number is 21, smaller number is 9. The two closest numbers are 20 and 21. They said what? The sum of the two greatest integers, 20 plus 21, 41. Is that hard? Conceptual? Is it model 2? Yes. Is it frequency question? Yes. Should you know how to do it? You better, because you're going to see this kind of question. I'm not saying you're going to get the same question, but know when they ask you this kind of question, it's the same concept, how to apply them. Sometimes you see circle questions that is testing your concept. Sometimes you see circle question that basically is testing your critical thinking, that you don't rush and pick an answer. This is all circle question. It look complicated. Question 7. Look at it. They have given you this expression. They said x in the xy plane, the graph of the given circle is what? The length of the diameter is what? RK. So the length of the diameter is RK, where R and K are positive constant. What is the value of R? This is a key. If you don't pay attention, you're going to get a question wrong. They want you to find R. So the R is in front of K, and the diameter is RK. So pay attention when we get the answer. Now look at the expression. You have 7x squared, 42kx, 3y squared, 56ky, 33, 6k squared, minus 4y squared, 672k squared. It's just a bunch of crap trying to fool you. Don't fall for it. Okay. Don't fall for this trap. It's a circle question. Forget about the k. It's a constant. Write it in the standard circle form. Therefore, I'm going to bring the y together. I have 7x squared, 42kx. I see 3y and what? 4y. Negative go here become what? 7y squared. Now I have 56ky. I'm going to take the k. It's a constant. It goes there. So I have 672 plus 336. This is 1008 k squared. Then you can do your stuff. You know you got to complete the square, right? But before that, 7 It's complicating the situation. A circle always need to have the x exponent should be 1 to be a unit circle, right? And to be a normal way so that you can complete the square easily. Therefore, divide everything by 7. I have s squared. This is going to turn into 6kx. This is y squared. This will be 8ky. And this will 1008 divided by 7 is 144k squared. And then you're done. If you complete this square, half of this is 3k squared plus y minus 4k, because half of that, right? But then 3, you got to square it. It becomes 9. The 4, you got to square it. You get 16. They are all k. They all have k square plus 144k squared. This is, you add this to that, you get 169k squared. This, you don't worry about it anymore. This is what you care about. So what is the issue? 169k squared should be equal to the radius. The radius is r squared. Therefore, r is what? 13k. This is the key. That's why I brought it here. R is 13k. But what they're asking you is their diameter. So 2r is 26k. But what is the expression? Diameter is rk, therefore 26k. What is r? Pick 26. Don't pick any number because r is in front of the k. The r is 26. I keep on using r to confuse you. SAT will do that. They want to see if you still pay attention. The radius is 13k. If you multiply the radius by 2, you get what? 26k. 26k is expressed as what? Rk. What is r? R is 26. And therefore, the right answer is 26. This is a conceptual circle question. Let me check in. What is your score so far? Are you able to answer this kind of question? If so, you're ready for module 2. If not, keep on charging. Question 8. This is also very interesting question. And as you can see, it's something the SAT love to ask you. And therefore, be comfortable. Don't worry. This is an expression giving y is equal to what? Minus 3 over 2. Intersect the graph at this point, where k is an integer. If k is the greatest possible integer to which the graph intersects at 2 points, what is the positive difference between the x-coordinate of the intercept? Read it again, understand what the question is asking, otherwise you're going to screw it up. It's asking you for greatest possible difference between the x-coordinate of the intercept. That means the root. They're asking you the difference between them. That's all. So wherever they intersect between these two graphs, that's what you're going to do. You know, y is equal to that. Therefore, these two functions are the same. You have s squared plus 8s plus k is equal to minus 3 over 2. I'll put this in Desmos and see what happens. First, we put the y is equal to minus 3 over 2. Then the second function, we say y1 is equal to s squared. The second expression, just put it in. Now pick a slider and you have this function. But don't forget, we're looking for if k is the greatest possible integer for which the graph intersects. This is not your answer. K is not just 1. We want the greatest number that they still have a solution. That's what they mean. Interpret it. I'm going to put a step here, 1, because I want integers. That's what will prevent you from having a number, any other number. And then I tell myself, I'm going to go up on these numbers and I can see we still have a function. And so I go up, like it's going up. That means I got to go higher. I pick 20 and it's up higher than normal. Therefore, I bring it slowly. At 14, I have a solution. Let me make it 15. I don't have a solution. 14, I have a solution. 13, I have a solution. 12, I have a solution. Therefore, the greatest number is 14. There's a tiny solution here. And this is your point right here. Because if you put 15, no solution. Therefore, this is the greatest possible value of k to get a solution. And what are your points? These are your points. Second function is here. Now I have these two numbers. The difference between them, whenever they say positive difference, pick the biggest number first. The biggest number is minus 3. So minus 3.29, or I can say 0.33 minus 4.7. And your answer is 1.4. which is square root of 2. And so the positive difference between them is that. And if you pick a fraction, it's 7/5. And most likely SAT will accept this answer. A lot of students see trig question and they get defeated. They are actually straightforward. Grab the free point. This expression is being given. And they said what? They've given you a range. Think about it. Pi is 180. 2 pi is 360. That means we are within the range of a unit circle, 360. That's all. They said, what is the least possible value of theta? They've given you angle. You don't know the certain angle. When you had it, you get 0. That's what the question is asking. It looks complicated. First thing is to understand that cosine of 13 pi over 6, what it means. Always reduce it by 2 pi. I can rewrite 13 pi as what? 12 pi over 6 plus pi over 6. That's all. This is 0 because when you rotate over 2 pi, is 0. Now, I'm left with this, pi over 6. Pi over 6 is actually what? Think about it. It's 30 degrees. Cosine 30 degrees is what? It's the same thing as cosine 30, which is what? Pi 3, square root of 3 over 2. Now, you want to find the expression. They said, if this is square root over 2, I have square root 3 over 2 plus theta, I don't know, is equal to 0. That means this should be negative square root over 2. That's all. Critical thinking. I'm not making anything big. It is, if two numbers are equal to 0, one has to be negative. Therefore, you have what? Cosine of a certain number that will give you negative 3 over 2. Now you have to apply your unit circle. Cosine is negative in the second quadrant and the third quadrant. If it's negative in the second and third quadrant, well, I know this is what? Pi over 6. Well, if it's in the second quadrant, subtract it from pi. If it's in the third quadrant, add pi. That's all. So the first situation, one situation is when it's in the second quadrant, I'm going to do pi minus pi over 6. What do you think it's going to give you? It's going to be 5 pi over 6. If it's in the second quadrant, it's just pi plus pi over 6. You're going to get what? 7 pi over 6. Which one is bigger? Think about it. 5 pi over 6. Therefore, your right answer is 5 pi over 6. That's all. All I did is just express the function, make the equation normal because they said pi 13 pi over 6 plus cosine is equal to 0. Well, then the opposite is the other one. And then find where the quadrant is negative. And those two quadrants is where you can find them. Therefore, the smallest possible value is 5 pi over 6. And that's all. You need to learn how to answer similar triangle and congruent triangle. They say a triangle ABC. I don't know what it is. I'm going to draw ABC. Angle at A is 43. Angle at C is 75. Okay. Another triangle, it has what? D, E, F. They don't tell me if it corresponds. I don't care. But D is 43 degrees and E is 62. Oh, I can find here. What is here? What do you think? Just subtract it from 180. That's all. 62 plus 43 minus 1 from 180. This is 75. Oh, if that is so, I do the same thing here. This is going to give me 62. That means I have all the angles are the same. If all the angles are the same, where they facing, this side is going to be congruent with this side that is congruent. This side is also congruent to that because the angles are the same. And therefore, all these sides are scaled and the angles are the same. So just by angle similarity, this equation is satisfied. I don't need to know the measure of F because it's already given. I can calculate it. I don't need to know the length. If I know all the angles are the same, I already know the length. They should be the same in the scale factor form. I don't need to know B. Therefore, D is the right answer. If you answer this question, no congruent and similarity question will beat you. If you need more, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending time with me. Let me know your score in the comment section. If you're preparing for your SAT in August, please try to get at least 9 out of 10 of this question. If not, let me know I'll make video on this. Take care of yourself and good luck.